Like I told you before, knowing your porosity is where your routine gets real, especially if you are dealing with dryness. Okay, porosity is all about the moisture, it's all about the water retention. So, porosity basically what it means is your hair's ability to absorb and retain moisture. So, it doesn't matter the type of fancy products you buy, how much money you're spending on products. At the end of the day, only the right habits will help your hair to become more moist. Moisturized hair means length retention. Length retention means we see the growth. So many of the ladies that I work with are concerned about hair growth and hair loss. And many times it's not that we have a hair loss issue, we have a length retention issue, which means our hair is so dry and unhealthy and undernourished and all of these things that we're not seeing the actual growth that our hair gives us naturally, especially when we get to a certain age. Okay, things definitely get to change, and things definitely start to change, and this is the thing that nobody really prepares us for, is how our hair changes after we reach a certain age. Very much so, you might notice that your hair feels drier, thinner, or more prone to breakage than it used to be, because as we age, our scalp naturally produces less oil. And then you have your hormones, the added stress, and the history of protective styling that many of us did in our younger ages. And suddenly that luscious, moisturized hair is now feeling more like a dry sponge. Real solution is not buying all the products, buying every product on the shelf. It's really about understanding your porosity. So you are more than halfway there just by knowing that much. I'm going to focus more on low porosity hair because remember, your hair has cuticles or cuticle layer. So the cuticle layer is like shingles on a roof, okay? The more tightly packed those cuticles are, the harder it is for water to get in. So when we have low porosity hair, we have to use heat. Heat is what opens those cuticles to let water in. If we're not incorporating heat, most of the time when we do our moisture routine or our hydrating routine, then the water is just going to sit there on top, okay? Which makes it more difficult for oils to penetrate. But the good thing with low porosity hair, if you get those cuticles open and the water gets in, it stays put. Okay? You've noticed that when you get products or you use products, they just kind of sit on top, or they're not blending in, or your hair takes forever to get fully wet when you're shampooing it, or it takes forever to dry when you're done shampooing it. If you feel like the products that you use are leaving a greasy residue, it has like a waxy or coated texture, then again, that's how you know for sure you have low porosity hair and those products aren't penetrating. Okay. Now that's a total opposite of high porosity hair. I'll cover that quickly. Same thing. You have the cuticle layer, but with high porosity hair, the cuticles are more open. And you would think that's a good thing, but not necessarily, because the water, as quickly as it gets in to penetrate the hair strand, is as quickly as it also leaves. Okay. So people with high porosity have an entire different set of problems. And most of the time we get high porosity hair because of chemical damage, heat damage. Is usually some type of damage to the hair that damages the cuticle, which causes it to be open. Okay. When you're using your products, you always want to do lightweight water-based products first, okay? Because you don't want thick, heavy, too many thick, heavy, or creamy products, because it's going to be hard for it to penetrate through those cuticle layers. Okay. So again, knowing your porosity is very important. This is like the number one thing when it comes to your moisture. Porosity also helps you keep from overdoing it with the wrong stuff, because remember, if you have high porosity hair and you're constantly using products and it seems like they're not working, okay, so we buy a product and it looks like it's not working, and then we buy something else because that one didn't work, and then we use this one and that one isn't working either. Okay, we end up over moisturizing or overdoing it. Okay, and then we're overspending on stuff that we really don't need. We just need to understand what it is our hair is asking for. So we don't need to make the routine longer or more difficult. Actually, if you want to get super, super simple, water and oil is really all your hair requires to be moisturized. Okay, if you want to get fancy, you can make you a little water-based hydration mist with just some aloe vera juice or aloe vera gel with a little bit of water. Spray your hair down, sit under a dryer, let that penetrate your hair shaft, and then seal it with an oil, a simple olive oil that you probably already have in your kitchen. I tell women all the time, you don't need to buy anything. Most of the stuff we need for our hair, we already have in our home, in our bathroom, or in our kitchen. We have what we need. Okay, so if you want to get super simple, 2 products will provide an adequate amount of moisture. Now we get fancy with all of the creams and the butters and the things like that, because it feels good. It feels like a luxury experience. They smell good. They ignite our senses. Okay. And those things are fine. But again, you really don't have to have them. Okay. They are definitely a luxury for many of us. To watch the full video, click the link below.